Hi everyone, welcome to our webinar. And today we will look in the topic of AI's role in shaping the future of energy management. And we will discuss how to make informed decisions using AI and how to start doing it right now today. And before we introduce ourselves, I want to look briefly through our agenda and through the things we will discuss today. First, we want to set the scene and actually look into why we want to talk about artificial intelligence in energy, and we will look whether the role of AI is growing, and if it is, then how can we leverage it, and at the same time, how can we implement some things of AI, some technology already today. And AI is such a huge topic and everyone is talking about it right now or thinking about it. So there are a lot of concerns and fears related to artificial intelligence. So we want to cover these most common questions as well. So let me introduce myself. My name is Marina and I'm a marketing specialist at EIPGRID. And due to my role, I make a lot of in-depth energy research. And I have my co-host, my colleague with me today. Can you introduce yourself?
So hello everyone, I'm Jack, and right now I am a data scientist in the EIPGRID, and I'm responsible for develop and manage the energy management system with AI technology.
Amazing. I'm very glad that Jack joined us today because he knows everything about AI, so he will be super helpful. Also, let's look at EIPGRID. For those of you who are not familiar with us, we provide AI-driven energy management platform, and this platform can be used by any energy market player, whether it's end users or community managers, utilities, grid operators, aggregators. Everyone can benefit from using our platform, and a little bit later I will elaborate on this. We have been in energy business since 2010, so we have quite an extensive history, and right now we have 6 nationalities working all together in one office in our Seoul headquarters. We have over 80% of employees in R&D division, and we have by now 15 patents in energy ICT domain, which means that we really focus on energy innovation and we really want to move the energy transition forward. During watching this webinar, I think you probably will have more questions about artificial intelligence technology or maybe some of our solutions, so don't hesitate to send us questions by email or via LinkedIn, any way that is more convenient to you. All right, let's dive into our main topic, unlocking energy potential with AI. Let's set the scene first, why we want to talk about AI. So when we talk about energy market, Jack, what's your opinion? What's going on right now? What is your intake?
So right now we are in 2023, right? So maybe 2 years after the pandemic. So the need for the energy maybe is lost, and this can lead to some potential of overload the power plants. And I think on the other hand, the traditional source of energy, such as fossil fuel, natural gas or oil, is running out quickly. And then in order to combat with the climate change, I think the need of shifting to some source of renewable energy be very crucial. And for that reason, the energy system become more and more complex and require a huge effort to manage. And I think that's where we need innovation, not only from the hardware but also for the software. And I think that's where the AI come into place.
Right, and I agree with you, Jack. And in order to support your words, I would like to show some graphs. In the first one, we can actually see that the market is really volatile and the whole situation in the world is volatile. And right now we're kind of in the worst position probably, but at the same time, we can see that the future is bright. However, even during pre-COVID times, there was already some pressure on energy industry because some sustainability measures were introduced. And once COVID hit, at the same time, we saw new CO2 reduction targets introduced to the market. And because of COVID, there was some disruption in energy supply chain because some of the energy renewable projects, they were actually paused. And after COVID, one war hit and then the other war. So there is definitely a lot of pressure on energy market and energy industry. However, if we look at the next graph, we can still see that more and more renewables are being incorporated into the supply chain, into the grid, starting from early 2020s. And hopefully by 2050, most of our energy will actually come from renewable energy resources. And what it means for us is actually this crisis introduces us at the same time some opportunity. And as some experts say that this energy revolution is at the same time tech revolution, because in order to use all these new energy resources, we need to have technologies in order to actually manage them and orchestrate them, because they're not as stable as maybe some traditional energy resources. And as we talk about technologies and energy and about AI, maybe in the beginning, could you explain in very simple terms what is actually AI?
So AI, or artificial intelligence, which is I think the vast area that consists of the ability to enable any system or computer to mimic the human capability, such as some tasks as object recognition, problem solving, or maybe decision making. And then machine learning is one of the AI branch. So machine learning is an algorithm that can have a system that can take in some data input as the input, and then it can improve by themselves, and then it can produce some design outcome with very high accuracy. And I think that's the AI in simple terms.
Thank you for the great explanation. Now I think everyone understands better what actually AI is. And staying on the subject, since it's such a hot topic, sometimes we see that actually current trends disappear pretty fast, even though it was a huge hype. Do you think the same can happen with AI?
For me personally, I think right now we are in the golden age of AI and data right now. So as I remember, for the last year, about November 2022, so the OpenAI had released ChatGPT. So this event marked an explosive of AI in everywhere, such as in healthcare, maybe some transportation, education, or in security or logistics. And ChatGPT also shift the focus of research about AI to the generative model. And then for the data, I think the data also very crucial for the AI. And right now in the world, like many countries that they begin the process of the digitalization, like covering everything from our identification to our digital behavior on the internet. So this leaves us with a huge source of data that we can work on. And I think with those two factors, I think they will build a solid foundation for the AI to achieve more and more remarkable achievement. I think AI will be the technology of the future.
That sounds really fascinating and very promising. Since you said that is the technology of the future, I actually wanted to elaborate more a little bit about this, and to show that while it's the technology of the future, at the same time, we at EIPGRID already incorporating some of artificial intelligence technologies into our solutions that are available at hand right now, and you can use them. And one thing I wanted to point out is that you mentioned that data is very important, and actually I wanted to come back to this topic of data a little bit later in our webinar and ask you some follow-up questions if you don't mind. Perfect. AI-driven virtual power plant actually has a lot of benefits for everyone who uses it. First of all, it gives you access to advanced energy management. It's not only that you can see all of your energy resources, whether they're distributed or located next to each other, but this type of software actually allows you to identify how much generation you need depending on your demand. It also helps you to decide at what specific times, what type of energy you want to use, whether you want to use battery, whether you want to charge or discharge your battery, and again, at what time it should happen, what is the schedule. So as you can see, this type of management is extremely precise, and it's all possible due to artificial intelligence technologies. Once you do it, it means that the flexibility of energy resources is much higher. The flexibility of your management is much higher. And in general, it brings not only financial benefits to the user, but at the same time, it brings overall grid stability. So the whole energy system benefits from this type of virtual power plant, this type of VPP. And it contributes to sustainability of energy systems in the world. It drives energy transition forward. And once we achieve this state when the whole system works with this much precise and so accurately, then as a result, it brings greater cost savings and financial benefits to everyone. How to achieve this type of benefits? I want to give you the example of core AI technologies that we use in our platform and that help you to achieve all the benefits that I just mentioned. First two core technologies is load and generation forecast. They two go together hand in hand. Why is it so important? First, load management is basically you know what will be the demand, and generation you can know how much energy you can produce. It means that it helps you optimize your resources. You know at what time, what type of resource you will use and how much you will generate. You do not want to generate more, you do not want to generate less. So this optimization means that you use your resources without overrunning them, without wasting energy, and as a result, again, without wasting any money. So it helps you to reduce your costs on operations. And in general, it helps you with the whole grid planning. Again, you can look at the future and based on the predictions, based on this forecast, you can think how you can improve the grid, what you want to incorporate into the grid maybe in the future. So the integration of renewables becomes very, very smooth and basically seamless. Once you have this whole system working and you know exactly how much load and how much generation will happen, then it means that it allows you to participate in energy markets because you know how much you want to sell, how much you're able to sell, or maybe you need to buy some energy. So you can participate in energy trading. You can also participate in demand response program or any other energy program. And at the same time, you can also think maybe you generate too much. In this case, you can think about incorporating energy storage management as well into your resources. However, I just mentioned about energy trading and participating in energy programs. Sometimes everything is available at hand and you want to understand where you actually do want to participate, what is more beneficial for you from financial point of view. And in this case, our platform provides you even more solutions, which is AI price forecasting, bidding, and trading. Because energy markets, of course, they're closely connected to finance and to trading. And these functions, they are really important and help you elevate your energy management even on the next level compared to just using load and generation forecasting. Once you can forecast the price, you can understand market trends, you can adapt to the markets because energy markets are very dynamic and things changing all the time. You can predict some price spikes or maybe some downturns, which means that you can mitigate the risks. You can build your risk management strategies in advance. And I already mentioned it, but I want to highlight it one more time, that everything happens in real time, which is extremely important if we're talking about energy markets. It allows you to respond to challenges in real time with real-time response. And if we're talking about bidding or trading energy, this is of course the top-notch solution and something that you want to be looking for, and the technology you want to have at hand in order to have competitive advantage. And as now I introduced to you a lot of AI core functions that are actually incorporated in our virtual power plant, I'm more than excited to introduce you one more AI service which goes separately from our VPP, and we have just launched it this year. And before I say anything, I want to show you some introductory video first. So our AI service called DARE, and as you saw in the video, it has three main components, D1, D2, and D3. And I want to go very quickly through some really important points about this data analysis and report engine. First of all, when it comes to D1, using our D1 API, you can make quick and accurate energy data analysis. And D1 allows you to calculate the most important industry indicators. What benefits do you get with D1 is, first of all, you can ensure that actually your data has some integrity and consistency, and it helps you to validate your forecast with actual power data. It helps you to measure energy efficiency initiatives, and you can also assess demand response effectiveness or other energy programs effectiveness, and to measure your participation in those programs. When it comes to D2, D2 is time series forecasting, and it allows you to do two types of forecasting, which is daily demand power and solar power generation. Obviously, it has a lot of benefits, and there are a lot of reasons why you want to do it. When you know daily demand power, you can optimize power generation, you can prevent outages. For utility companies and grid operators, this is also very, very crucial actually, because basically they can ensure that they're able to deliver reliable energy. For solar power generation, you can optimize grid integration, you can manage variations in solar output, and you can maximize the utilization of renewable energy resources. D2 allows you to basically train your own model. And it's simple to do because you can seamlessly feed your own data set. We made it very simple, so you can take data from our virtual power plant. You can also feed data from Amazon S3 storage, and the integration is really seamless and painless. So that will be no issue. After you trained your model and served your model, this is when you can get serious energy insights and the impact that you can actually measure in real numbers. You will get comprehensive analytics report about dataset overview, about statistical information, and about visual analysis plots. With D2, you can actually choose the best model for you, and the system will recommend you the best models when it comes to energy management. If you use D2, then you get a lot of advantages. First of all, there is no more inaccurate predictions because AI captures really complex patterns, something that is not really possible if this type of work is done by a human. As I already mentioned, the data handling is really simple in our case, and there are no more outdated forecasts because our D2 works in real time. So when there are real-time updates, the system notices those real-time updates and changes the predictions and forecasts based on those real-time updates again. And those dynamic predictions, they really help you to reach the financial and energy goals that you set for yourself. And finally, we're moving to D3, and D3 is dynamic visualization. When we work with energy, usually it's not just one person, there is a group of people, some kind of team that actually looks at what's happening, makes decisions, discusses what would be the best strategy, what is the risk mitigation strategy, and so on. In order to do this, our developers came up with the idea of this D3 because this type of visualization helps you to collaborate. And again, you can link various data sources, whichever data source you use. Connection is very simple, and then the system analyzes time series data of distributed energy resources, and that's when you obtain meaningful information and you can share these interactive reports. And not only that they are interactive, there is a very comprehensive, a very convenient chart editor. With this editor, you can choose what type of data you want to show in your charts, in your reports, what kind of values you want to show, what type of graph it should be, what type of period you want to show. And by creating these reports and sharing it with others, whether they're your teammates or important stakeholders, then you can come together as a team with important energy decisions supported by AI solutions. So this was our AI service there, which I was super proud to introduce. And now we will move to Q&A session where we'll go through some main questions which usually people have about AI, especially when it comes about AI in energy role. Jack, now I want to use your expertise, and earlier you mentioned data and I said I would really like to circle back to it later. So I think now is the time. What role does data play in training machine learning algorithms?
So, to know how important the data will be with the AI, I think at first, I think we need to know, maybe conceptually about the idea of how machine learning work. Like how can a machine learn? And machine learning, just like our brain, we also need some information to make some, and depend on that, it can make some decision. So for us, it will be like the image we see by our eyes, the sounds like we hear from our ear, and then for the information we can make some decision. And then how can we learn? So for the first time when we make some decision, that decision may be very bad, and then by some mean of learning, for example, we learn from someone else or we learn by ourselves, we can improve more and more, and then we make a better decision. So let's say, for example, we are in a class learning math, and the student in that class will be the machine learning model. So, for example, the teacher, she will give the student a series of calculation, and the student job will be give an answer from those calculation. So for the first time, the answer may be completely wrong. So the teacher job will receive the answer from the student, and then she will like compare with the actual answer, and then she will guide the student so that for the next time the student may give some better answer. So that's how we learn, and this process keep going on and on until the student can learn to do calculation. And then maybe in the end of the semester, that like we will have some kind of final test to test on the student to see how well they learn. And back to our machine learning model. So the machine learning model takes some of the data as the input, and then it can produce some output based on those input. And then for the first time, the output maybe have very low accuracy, and then we will have some kind of optimization algorithm, and this algorithm will take the output and calculation the error between the output and the actual sample we collect from the environment. And then the optimization algorithm, they will like change some of the model parameter so that for the next time it can give a better result. And this process called backpropagation, and it keep just go on and on until the model can achieve some acceptable accuracy. Yeah, and that's how the model can learn the data. And so it a common sense to know that the more we learn, the better we are. Just like the machine, if we have more data, the model keep learning, and we'll have a high accuracy model. So for in the EIPGRID, we are in the energy business for more than 13 years, and I believe that we have collect a huge amount of data from the client from over the world. And for that reason, I can confidently say that we can build some of the very high performance model with those data, and then we can gain some deep understanding and maybe some valuable insight of whatever we're gonna do in this energy business.
It sounds like data is the real power, and once we have data, then we can get some really meaningful insights. And my next question is, however, once we get these recommendations and insights, can I really follow them? Can I trust them? I know a lot of people have this fear about AI, and maybe me too. Can it be misleading in a way? What would you say?
Yeah, I understand that we have heard many superiority of AI for the last time, but I think just like any system in the world, AI had also have some like downfall. And in the EIPGRID, we like tackle I think the most crucial problem for the AI, which is the black box problem. So the black box problem refer to like the challenge that we cannot fully understand what's going on inside the AI model, like because the internal working of the model is very complex and opaque. And then for example, like for the self-driving car, like if the car decided to hit a pedestrian instead of hitting the brake, like because of the characteristic of the black box, like we cannot trace back to the system and see where it went wrong. And then another example that so nowadays the AI model often make judgment for the human. Maybe it's in a context of like medical treatment, or the AI model can decide to who get approved for a loan, or to which applicant get a job interview maybe. And then for the example in the real world, AI can contain some unwanted bias, and it can fail you for a job interview, or it can diagnose you with a heart cancer without knowing the reason behind the decision. So it can make people very hard to trust the AI system because the black box problem. So and then for the EIPGRID, we solve the this problem by develop a hybrid model. So the hybrid model meaning that we have like two separate model. So the first model will be the I call complex model. It will be the pure AI. Because the AI can still produce some very high accurate result by learning some very complex pattern of the data beneath. And then for the second model, we will have some sort of like interpretable model. So this model will be a little bit simplified than the AI model, but it can still generate a reasonable result. And the key point for this model is that it can like very easy for us to like explain and understand the decision it made. So for the model, it will be some sort of like decision trees, a linear model, or some rules based, and it can be easily explained to the customer also. For yeah. And then finally, we'll have some like strategy to combine those two models together to leverage both advantage of those two type model into the maybe a robust model.
It seems like EIPGRID really has some advantage in its approach to AI technologies, and it's really very crucial for our clients to understand why they receive specific recommendations in order to achieve the results and the goals that they really set for them. So in today's webinar, we looked at the role of artificial intelligence in energy management, and without a doubt, we can say that this technology is beneficial not only for energy market players because they can get financial benefits and achieve their goals, but at the same time, it contributes to the sustainability, to energy transition, and energy actually moves the whole industry forward, and we are very proud to be a part of this movement.
It's our pleasure that been here and talk about AI in the energy business, and I hope that it's very helpful for everyone.
Right, and if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. You can send us email or contact us via SNS. Also, you can get some free consultation or free demo if you want. You can also ask for additional materials from this webinar, and we will be helpful to send them to you. And hopefully see you next time. Bye.